Hello everyone, how are you? Tuning in again to say hello and to share a few things with you today, like I always do. So today I'm going to start out asking you a question. Do you enjoy moving your body? Do you enjoy how it feels when you're moving? Or do you have stiff joints, sore muscles, and it's just a cumbersome thing to move around a lot? So let's talk about that today. So one of the things that we all know, much research has been done on it, is that to really live a healthy, long life, hey Kelly, thanks for tuning in, to really live an enjoyable, long life, movement, exercise is crucial. And I don't know about you, but when I was in high school, then we had our PE class, and there's lots of times when I didn't really enjoy doing it. And it felt like it was a drudgery, a chore that we all had to do. And there was classes of the people who were in sports, and then there were classes of the people who weren't in sports, which was where I was. And it just wasn't really that fun. And so I'm thinking part of it is that when we learn from a young age that working out is not a fun thing to do, or it's painful, or it's torturous, what does that do to your mindset about really enjoying how your body feels and moving? You've got to be able to move your body to flush the fluids and waste out of your muscles, allow your lymph system to flow, which is what keeps you young and healthy. And additionally, doing stretching like yoga and other types of stretches just to help with the flexibility factor. So, what are some of the things that you have thought about, that you have been taught, or ideas, attitudes that you adopted as you went through your life about exercise, about really connecting with your body and moving? And does it really serve you? Are there ways that you could switch your thinking around a little bit so that in movement and working out and exercising would be more enjoyable for you? For me now, I've been doing exercise for so long, it's just part of my routine. I just schedule it into my calendar and I do it. And when I don't, then my body tells me about it. So it's like, okay, I got to get back on it. And with being in the shutdown for these last few months, with gyms closed and everybody's routine has been turned upside down, one thing I noticed about that was that I couldn't get to the gym, and so my routine was upset. So my muscles and my legs told me about it, and it just took a while to really get back into feeling the strength that I've had before the disruption of the routine. And so just look at that, of how you can shift things around and be kind of fluid and flexible with bringing in different activities, different exercises, so that you can still keep your body moving. It's not that hard once you really start thinking about it and doing it, but it's just maybe stretching outside of your comfort zone a little bit if you haven't really done a lot of movement and exercising, or you need to just shift up and switch things around in your current routine. So a couple of things too that I want to just throw out at you about how we view the body. When there's so much turmoil and so much abuse and hard traumatic experiences, we've all been through them. We all have tough times in life, and God help the people and the children who go through just horrific abuse. But think about what that does psychologically. What does that send? What kind of message does that send to the body and to you about life's not safe? It's full of trauma and danger, that people can't be trusted. People are violent and they do damage and they hurt, and that there's not a safe place to go to. A lot of those types of thoughts And responses to traumatic experiences are imprinted and embedded within the body. And so when we go to exercise and move and stretch our joints and become more flexible, then we hit up against those old energies, those old memories of trauma about how life's not safe. It's not okay to be here, to be in physicality, and to really embrace this physical life that we have, because we experience it through the body. So, all of us have that. It's been said, there's a woman that I follow that does astrology for several years, and she says, humanity is a traumatized species. And when you look at the history of all of the abuse and the wars and the violence, it's really true. I mean, just look at this year, it's horrendous. So we just absorb all of that in. And so that's one of the things that I feel it makes it difficult to really enjoy feeling the body, to really be immersed in the physical experience of life, because we've been taught that it's just not safe. It's not fun. How many people, and maybe you too, when you really get down into it, there's a sense of, I don't want to be here. I don't like this life. It's not fun. It's not easy. And it's true. And yet, we're here, so make the best of it. And so one of the things that I found is that the more I could really tune into my body and develop a deeper relationship with it and just learn how to feel, when I'm stretching or when I'm running or when I'm doing something that's uncomfortable, lean into that discomfort, to be able to allow the body to open so that painful, that uncomfortable energy can leave, can shift through the body, can be released from the fascia, from the nerves, from the muscles. And as you're able to do that, that's why yoga is so really good for this. That's why, or when you're able to do that, then your body can shift and become more flexible and open and release some of those old energies so that it's easy for you to be in your body. Another thing that really helps is to really focus on what you eat. I'm always saying that. What are you putting in your mouth? But it makes such a difference when you have wholesome, nutritious, real food, plant-based food and meals. The body recognizes it and it can thrive and build and do what it needs to do with that type of a diet, as opposed to a diet that's going to produce a lot of acid and inflammation, and then there's water retention, fluid retention to dilute that acid, and then there's wastes and toxins that gets built up in that, and then pretty soon you've got extra rolls around your middle, all the extra fat to help buffer all of that acid and inflammation. And then it's just harder for you to move around because you've got this insulation, all these rolls and all this stuff that you've got to maneuver just to get off the couch and to get out walking down the street. And so, think about, how do you do your movement? Do you enjoy feeling in your body? Do you enjoy this physical life? Have you ever thought of what's the potential of what your body could do? The DNA of the body holds mounds and mounds of information, more than what we even know how to access. Your body holds the records of your life, of all of your experiences, the good, the bad, the otherwise. And if the only thing that you bump up against when you're moving your body and stretching it is all the traumatic stuff that you've not been willing to let go of, then you're not going to be able to access on the other side of that all of the information that your body carries that's about your potential, that's about the good things, it's about the wisdom of who you are, what you're here to experience in life. What are you really here to offer and to share with people? All of that information and so much more is stored in your body. And so it's, once you're aware of that and start thinking about, questioning, pondering about, what's possible, expanding your mind beyond what the general habitual way of doing your life is and how you move your body, and how you think about it. But open your mind to consider different perspectives about what the body is capable of, about what your body's capable of. And see it as a celebration of movement, as a celebration of your life, of being here, enjoying the sensory experience that this life has to offer, the colors, the sounds, the textures, the crunch, how your body feels as it's moving. Really tune into that and relish it, celebrate it. Thousands of years ago, other cultures that thrived and flourished on the earth, they viewed the body as sacred. They honored it and they celebrated it. And when you come from that perspective about your body and yourself, you're much more prone to take care of it. So I encourage you and invite you to think about, what have you adopted that's contrary to that perspective? And does it serve you? Or does it cause angst and anxiety and pain for you? With the body being sacred and a joyful thing, we are that we might have joy, that the human experience is about having joy and really embracing this physical experience of our lives, rather than running away from it and burying ourselves in the couch and the computers and not enjoying it because we don't want to be here. I think too, a lot of those ideas and attitudes came down to us from history and from religion and from the medical establishment. We know if we go back about 1,500 years or so, the idea was at that point to see the body as separate from the mind, to separate the spirit from the body, to separate our beingness in all of these different parts that could be controlled by the religious, the political establishment at the time. And out of that grew this idea that we can treat the body as an inanimate object and as a machine. And so now, several hundred years later, when you go to doing things with the conventional, typical medical establishment world, that's how they approach your body, as a machine. If a part doesn't work, let's just take it out. You go in every so often, every so many miles for an oil change, get your tires changed, get your brake pads changed. If something's not working, you just replace it. That whole idea of the body as a machine, just like you treat your car, not only is it highly disrespectful of what the body's actually capable of, but it sets you up for not understanding how to care for your body. Then it's too easy for things to break down and disease to set in, as well as feeling like you are not worth what you're capable of, that you're just your body and they're in just a machine that could be mistreated. And therefore, see the line of thinking that if your body's a machine that could be mistreated, that it doesn't matter if you go in for surgery and having pieces and parts cut out. It doesn't matter to send you off to a ward to have your limbs blown up. It doesn't matter to send you off into physical labor because you're not worth something. See how those ideas play out and show up in the world? That seeded so long ago, we don't even think about them. And yet they're still having their repercussions of how we treat each other, of how we treat our bodies, of how we care for it, of not valuing life. Think about it. When we don't have that value of life, we're not really going to want to embrace and enjoy and celebrate our own life. And how do we celebrate life but through moving our body? Through relishing how your body feels when you move it. By appreciating the sights, the colors, the sounds, the smells, the textures. Everything that your life can offer you. Allow all of that to nourish you rather than be a traumatizing, horrendous, unpleasant experience. It colors everything in how you approach your life. So I just want to bring those thoughts out to you, let you think about them, share with different perspective with you that you may not have thought of before, of how you look at your life. How do you approach your body and care for it? Because it may not seem like it connects to everything, but yet when you really think about it, it does connect and influence everything of how you feel, how you think, how you care for yourself, what you eat, how you treat other people. So, food for thought. Hope you enjoy this. I'd love to hear your comments in response to some of the questions I pose. I know it's kind of a deep thinking thing, but every now and again it's good to have some deep thoughts. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, your feedback. How do you view your body? Do you appreciate it? Do you enjoy how it feels when you're moving around, when you're exercising, when you're running? Feeling the breath, the deep breathing in your lungs. Tune into all that. So thanks for tuning in. Love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for letting me share this with you. And as always, I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.